Hi guys, this is Jagadish. I'm currently working as a Pega developer. So today I would like to discuss about Constellation in Pega, which is nothing but a Constellation design system. So before going into this topic, I want to share few things like if you are watching this video, please share this video to reach your friends so that they also might learn something from this video. And also, if you have any doubts, just please let me know in the comments so that I can explain whatever I know. So now coming into this constellation design system, mainly Pega wants to improve the front end system. So Pega wants to improve the UI, look and feel, the performance of UI, and many things. So they introduced this constellation design system. Before Constellation Design System, we call this as a Cosmos React, but there we haven't much approached or we haven't used this Cosmos React there. But we know there is a one thing called Cosmos React in Pega. That's it. And also before this Constellation Design System, we have this traditional UI and UI kit, right? So we'll discuss what are the major differences which are there in Constellation Design System compared to traditional UI, and also we'll see why Pega introduced this constellation design system, how this constellation design system developed in Pega, and what are the things that the constellation design system will use, and what are the advantages of constellation design system, and why do we need to use this constellation design system. We all see in this video. Okay, let's begin. Yeah, so we all know, right? Before this constellation design system, our application mainly uses UI kit or theme cosmos to build, right? So, but even though we have that UI kit and tradition, the theme cosmos, why Pega introduced this constellation design system? The reason is simple. Pega wants to improve the performance of application, and also it want to move from section based UI to view based UI, and also it wants to reduce the DX API calls, and many more comes into the picture. Now the problem with the UI kit or theme cosmos is that means traditional development is like whenever we use custom sections, whenever we customize sections, we might face many difficulties while upgrading, right? Mainly when there is an upgrade or if you want to move to code to the higher version, we might face many difficulties, and also the rendering of UI might take more time, and also the data will be stored, all the rules related to sections will be stored in Pega data only, and many more things comes into the picture when we talk about this, when we talk about the issues related to traditional UI. So to overcome all these issues, and to give our Pega entire UI metadata or case metadata to any front end application of our front-end system, Pega introduced this constellation design system. The reason is simple. So now we'll build application. If Pega, if the other front, if our clients wants to use any front-end system as their UI platform, then we'll give just code. We will give all our metadata in form of JSON. So by using this metadata, the front-end application might show whatever the data that we give to their system. So if you talk about differences in constellation design system compared to UI, traditional UI when compared to constellation design system, the first thing is it uses section. Traditional UI, we all know, right? It uses sections, buttons, actionable sets. like actionable sets in a sense like if you want to run any data transform on click of a button, if you want to move our assignment to the next stage on click of a button, these are nothing but our actionable sites. Like we'll configure if we click on that button and if you go to the actions tab, and there we'll give right there we'll define this action set, right? When and in constellation design system, coming to this constellation design system, there won't be any sections only, but how the UI is like, we'll see here views. Like example, if you take example, form view, partial view, etc. It won't look like a section, but we might see in our traditional UI also what is a view, right? So relate to that. And second one is it uses DX API v1. Here it uses in Constellation Design System, it uses DX API version 2. So I will talk about this DX API v1 and v2 later in this video. If you want to know about DX API, so please let me know in the comment section so that I can make a full video on this. And the third thing is the UI components, mainly sections, right? UI related things stored in PegaDB. But whereas in Constellation, when coming to the Constellation, uh, it uses on front end of Pega will use another server to store all these UI related components. That is nothing but Constellation server. Just for now, we call it as a Constellation server. This is the one of the major difference. And here in traditional UI, we'll follow server-based rendering UI, server-based rendering UI. But when coming to this Constellation, it is fully client-based. Yeah, we'll see one by one difference now. As I said, there won't be any sections in traditional UI, right? So there will be a views in order to configure any UI screens for the customers, or any if you want to show any front end data, we'll just use views here in the Constellation design system. So all the metadata will be stored in PegaDB, and the UI related things will be stored in Constellation server. We'll talk about that later. And now coming to this DX API. So what does this DX API really means? DX API is nothing but digital experience API, where if you want a simple example or if you want a simple definition, it acts like a bridge between Pega server to the browser server. So whenever you open any case worker portal, whenever you create a case, you will get all the data, right? Like imagine how these data will comes from how this data comes from. So these all things are managed by DX API only. If you guys want to know the difference between DX API v1 and v2, there won't be much difference, but here API calls will be less, and whatever the data we want, we will fetch in a single call in the PXD API version v2. And here Pega will and with this DX API, we can deliver our all our metadata from our Pega Infinity server to the any front end applications or front end systems like browsers, mobiles, web apps, etc., etc. This is how this is the use of DX API. And coming to this UI related things, as I said, right, whenever we see sections, layouts, and buttons. Those are all things will be stored in Pega database only, right? We have one rule set called UI kit or something. So all the related rules which are related to UI will be stored in that rule set only. But whereas coming to this Constellation, all the Pega related UI components won't be stored in Pega database. It will be stored in a separate server which was managed by Pega only, which is nothing but a Constellation server. And now from now onwards, we are calling that as a CDN, Content Delivery Network Server, CDN, Content Delivery Network, Content Delivery Network. And and the fourth difference is main difference is server based rendering UI. So whenever as I said, whenever we want to create a case, we'll just click on that create a case button, right? So in traditional UI, our Pega Infinity server is the one which renders the UI also. So from Pega only, we are taking all the UI related components, whatever the metadata, case data, UI data, whatever the data that is there, that we are fetching from Pega Infinity server. Whereas in Constellation, we are not doing that. We are maintaining separate server for all the Pega static components, all the Pega related UI static components in that server, and we'll get only the case data metadata from Infinity server. We'll get all our case data metadata from Infinity server to the browser, and browser automatically uses this Constellation server uses this Constellation components, React components. By using that React components, it will form a UI structure based on the metadata that we are providing to the browser. This is how actually it works. I will show one image so that you can easily correlate with that image. So you can see, you can also call it as a architecture, mini architecture, not a full architecture. Just a mini architecture, like overall view of architecture. As I said, whenever we create a case, the browser will send a request to Pega CDN and Infinity as well. From Pega CDN, it will get all the geostatic content server Pega related UI components, whatever the UI fields that we required, whatever the layouts that we required, those all will be stored in Pega CDN, and will fetch all these details from CDN to the browser, and browser will hold that data, and it will whenever create a case, the dx api call makes a case. Hey boss, he created a case, he needs some data, so please give that necessary data. So that Pega Infinity server will give case data, and also Pega browser only calls a dx api calls, so to fetch the metadata, and to show whenever create a case, we need to show that information in any UF format, right? So that is nothing but our metadata. So that metadata will be also coming with the case data. After coming that case data and UI metadata onto the browser, this data club with whatever the data that we receive from Pega.js static content server, and it will automatically render on the screen. That is how Pega uses this constellation. And if we talk about this app static content server, there might be a requirement where the Pega components aren't sufficient for our UI, right? So in that case, we might create a, or we might extend components that are related, that might use in our project. So all those components will be stored in app static server. The thing is same. All the UI related things will be stored in Pega CDN and app static content server, and the UI metadata will be stored in Infinity and in Pega Infinity server, the case data and UI metadata. This is the basic idea of Pega Constellation. This is the overall view of Constellation. And one more thing is like here, as I said, DX API calls are making from browser to Infinity and CDN, right? But there has to be something to orchestrate all these things, right? What is that? That is nothing but Pega core engine, Constellation core engine. So Pega Constellation core engine is the one which is which orchestrate all these things. Whenever we load a browser send a request to Pega CDN, and after sending a request to Pega CDN is nothing but content delivery network. We all know how content delivery network uses on the browser, how efficiently and how simple it is to use. So by making calls to Pega CDN immediately give Pega Constellation engine and Pega app static server. Sorry, Pega UI components. So all those things will be there at the browser. From there, it will orchestrate all the DX API calls that we required, whatever the action that we perform on the browser side. Just remember Constellation engine is the one which orchestrates all the DX API calls from browser to Infinity and browser to Pega CDN and browser to app static content service. Now we'll quickly see what are the things that are there in Pega. I'm switching to the App Studio. It's just my community edition, nothing more than that. So I'm just open. I created one case type. I'm just opening that case type. So whenever you create a case, Pega automatically creates something for you. I want to show those things. You create a case, you will get a full page view. Full page view is nothing but the view that you will get when you run a case. So whenever you run a case, in a traditional you also can able to see this all these things, right? Urgency, details, summary tab, all these things, tabs, utilities. What are the utilities? Nothing but what are the attachments that are there? What are whoever the followers which are related to this case, and also many things, right? This is nothing but a full page view. As I said, it is all about views. Pega will also view full view. Full view is nothing but preview is nothing but a case full view. And coming to this list, it is nothing but our cases, like you can say the work list items. We can able to relate that work list item. This as of now there won't be anything, but we can see whenever there is any object in our work list, how it look like. It will be in a table, and we'll get a one button to proceed to our work, right? So same like that thing. And partial view, when we'll go for partial view means whenever there is a necessary to show the data in read only, we might use this partial view, so that the things which are there in partial view can be seen to the users as a read-only view. And form view, coming to the form view is nothing but user form, where submit and cancel button will be there. Just I will it's not it, you can relate it with a normal section, like whenever we create a section we'll get a submit and cancel button, right? So same like that, but here the name we see is a view. And coming to, so by default Pega will create a form view. By default Pega will create this create form view and this utilities and this edit one also. And I want to show another thing, like if you want to add any pre-processing, post-processing validations, all those things in a traditional UI, what we'll do basically, we'll open a flow action, we'll go to actions tab, or we'll go to validations tab. We need to write we need to write a validation rule, and we need to paste it there, right? And also for the post-processing and pre-processing, we need to go to actions tab, and there we need to define whatever the thing, whether it is a post processing or pre processing, we need to mention it and we need to call it there, right? But here in Constellation we can see, and we can able to write in the configure menu itself, configure view itself. We can see pre processing and post processing, whatever. These are nothing but this condition tab is nothing but validation tab, and view is nothing but user representative form. This is the one. And one more thing is, if we talk about themes, application themes, if you want to change any themes, you can change it as well. See themes. There are many things same as traditional UI only, but only enhancement they have done is they have developed all these things with React JS, React component. Why? Because let's take an example. Uh, uh, there is a situation where our client wants to use our Pega application to show on their front-end system. What we'll do, we'll give our Pega, we'll create one Pega web mashup, and we'll give that Pega web mashup to include in their front end system, right? So even though we have a Pega web mashup, that content which is there on the front end system might not be constant or might not be consistent throughout the application, right? So the mainly that is the reason why Pega introduced this constellation, so that if they ask any Pega things that they want us to show on their front-end system, we'll just give our UI metadata or the case data, whatever the data which will be there, so that they can use our metadata to show on their front-end system. This is the whole idea of this constellation design system. And as I said, right, so there is, we can change the theme as well. If you want, you can change it. If you want to add any colors, you can add it. It's just a normal feature, right? Or the feature which is already there in traditional UI. And if you want to go to Dev Studio, and if you open any flow action, there you can see flow in place of sections. We'll see from now onwards. We'll see views. Yeah, as I said, if you go to any flow action, and if you want to, if you open any flow action and see, you can see a section also, but you can see view configuration. In place of section, we are using view. If you open this view in Dev Studio, up to 24.2, we cannot see this view in Dev Studio. But from 25, they are allowing us to see this in Dev Studio. If you click on this, it will again go to the case type, and it will open that case designer studio. Nothing more than that. And here also, if you want to add any validation, you can add it. And in the actions tab also, if you want to add any things, that here also you can add it. Only the UI and look and feel will change with this constellation, and also as I said, it builds on React, right? So everything will be based on components only here. So if you ask me, like, if you want to go ahead in Constellation, do we need React JS knowledge? Yes, we need a React JS knowledge, but as of now, no need to learn React JS language fully. Just learn how to just learn how we can able to understand the code, how the project structure forms, what are the things that are necessary for to render the components, or to if you want to configure a button, just know how to if you click on that button, it has to move from it needs to move to another step, right? Just learn in that way, so that it will help you. Now we'll see about some debugging tools. So in Constellation also, if you want to debug, the tracer is available, a clipboard is available, and also if you want some plugins, there are some plugins also. Those are also available, and also Pega will give one tool, Open UI Inspector tool, which is like live UI in traditional UI. But if you want to enable this, go to browser tools and go to inspect, go to console tab, and just enter this command pcode dot get debugger dot to toggle inspector. As it is already there, I'm getting an error. So if you enable, this is in 24.25 version. Now Pega releases 25, right? Infinity 25. So from there they are using this. Before, if you want, before one, it's pico dot get debugger toggle X-ray. If you enable this toggle X-ray to true, you can also able to see the UI metadata. As I said, as I'm in community edition, right? It is a 25 version, so I'm getting error. So if you want to inspect anything, just open that and see. Quick info. If you click on these arrows, you can see all the metadata. This is the metadata. Everything about that widget, or everything about that layout, or everything about that property, or everything about the whatever the thing that we might see on the front end system. This is how we can trace. Oh, sorry. This is how we can debug. As I said, tracer also available. Also, keyboard also available. And I want to add a few things, like if you guys really help, if you so I want to add a few things. If you really like my video, please share this video. Let your friends reach this video. And also let me know in the comment section if you need any other Pega topics. So that I can explain all those as well. And in the next video, I'm going to create some components, or I'm going to create some UI screens, like how we can fetch the data from data tables, how we can show that data on the screens, like how we can extend all the component which is already present in Pega, and how we can create a new custom component. All those things we'll see in the next video. So please share this video with your friends. If you really like this video, please like it. That will boost my confidence. And if you have any doubts, please comment below so that I can able to clear your doubts as well. Thank you.